Good evening. Myself Karthikeyan, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Government College of Engineering, Singapore. Today, I'm going to discuss the concept of array concepts in Java. So we know that we have some drawbacks in a variable stored in continuous memory location. So the memory will be allocated in a scatter manner so that we are unable to store the values in continuous. So that with the help of the concept of array, we can able to store all the values of array in a continuous memory location by using a common name. So concept of array to store the values in a common name to understand the need object-oriented programming for the particular class. So if I want to store all this, so I'm not, if I'm going to with the concept of normal variable, I need to create a 53 variables and I need to read all the 53 variables separately. I need to declare 53 variable names and I need to read all the 53 values and also I need to store it. And even for calculation, I need to do it in a separate manner. And also we can't assure that the memory allocated for those variables not in a sequence manner, not in a continuous manner. So that the length of the code is so high, even though we can able to implement the logic by using those variable name, but the length of the program is so high, so that we are moving for the next concept that is called array. So by using the concept of an array, we are storing all the value, means we can store all the similar data elements in a common name in a continuous memory location. So it is a very easy for us to access all those values by using this continuous memory locations. So the array can be defined as. So array is a collection of similar elements to be stored in a continuous memory location in a common name. So by using this a common name with the help of the corresponding index, we are going to access the value of your value from an array. So with the help of that, so that the array have different characteristics. So the array elements can be accessed by help of the index. So normally the index values start from 0 to size -1. Size means that there is an allocated memory space. So if you are trying to access the memory index, which is an unallocated memory, so in the Java compiler makes an exception. And the next thing is the total memory, means that even if I want to store 10 values, even I can allocate a memory for 10 values also. And also once allocated, always the array name holds only for the static address. So generally the arrays can be classified into three types. So one is one-dimensional array, second one is two-dimensional array, and third one is a multi-dimensional array. A one-dimensional array means it is a list of, one-dimensional array is always also will be called as a list of elements. So that means the declaration of the one-dimensional arrays, it is a very important. The data type, there is a primary data type. We know that there are 8 primary data types will be supported. So data type followed by variable name. Then this array, means the normal variables and the array variable will be differentiated with the help of the square bracket. Then the memory will be allocated with the help of new. Then followed by what is the data type we are going to define for the data array. And you are going to define the size. Or otherwise, another way also possible. So the possibility is data type, and also here we have to define the name of square bracket, means that is square bracket present in front of the variable name, then new, then followed by the data type size. So these are the two possible ways we are going to define a one-dimensional array. And we are going to access the one-dimensional, the elements of this array from index from 0 to size -1. So here the size must be in a constant, it must be in a number, predefined number. Here you can't specify a variable because the memory will be allocated at the time of compilation itself, so that we have to define the size explicitly. Okay, let us take a simple example program to define this with the help of compile time initialization as well as a runtime initialization. So here I'm going to declare an integer array for the size of 10 values. My data type is integer 10. So I am going to initialize my values by using looping. So I equal to 0, I less than 10. So because the size -1, so I plus plus. So I am going to assign some value for an array. So 10 into I. Now I'm going to print it. So now the array values are initialized. Now I'm going to display it. So we know that array elements can be accessed by using index. So by using the index, I'm going to print the values of an array. So system.out.print. So now the values are assigned. So even the some declaration is missing for the variables. But in Java, we can define the variable or anywhere, any locations. So lifetime starts begin from that location itself. Now I compiled in a program. So I'm waiting for that is there any error or not. There is no error, so that automatically the dart class file will be created with the name is operator. So it will be created as 10, 20, 30 like this because I use the concept of print, not a println. So if I'm using a println, it will be displayed one by one. Just I can show that concept once again. So I'm going to compile. So no errors. I'm going to run my program. So it will display 0 to 90. Even if you want, we can define it in reverse also. We can access the elements from the 9th locations. So we are moving from left to right hand so that I greater than or equal to 0 and the values must be minus minus. So now I move on to testing values. I'm going to compile my code and I'm trying to run the program. So it will be reversing. I told that even if that beyond the limit, for example, I'm going to say it is a 10. And also the array index must be represented only in the positive numbers. So compile time there is no errors, but while running a program, so the exception will be created. The exception name is called as array out of bound index exception, that is called as a tail. Clear? Because we have a index. So here the maximum size of array is for 10 elements. So that the index varies from 0 to 9. But here I am using my index name is 10. So that the 10 index is not allocated. So that Java is strictly sensitive. So that if you are accessing out of a range, then surely it makes an exception. So that exception is called as an array index out of bound exceptions will be created. Okay. So and this is the way we are going to create a one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array is also called as a list. So if you are saying a list, it also means that it is a one-dimensional array. So that one-dimensional array can be defined like this. And second, there is another way is possible. This is for initializing a value at the runtime. Even if you want, we can define the values at the compile time also instead of this runtime. If you are assigning a value to the array in a compile time, there is no need for a new operator to define it. So that the index varies from up to 6. So that I'm going to say it is a 5. So see that I'm going to run my program. So it will work. So the size can be predicted based on the number of elements in the list. So it will be displayed because I try to display the values from left to right. Sorry, right to left. Okay. So next one is a two-dimensional array. It means that it is a 2 square bracket we have. This we call as a matrix representation. So normally the syntax is the same. That is a data type, variable name. So the data type here, row size and column size. Because it is a matrix, so that we call it as a row size and column size. So here you can represent within square bracket, double square bracket, we call the subscript. Even we can we can define it in reverse also. So these two declarations definitely means the syntax are equivalent. Okay, so now I am going to show a simple case for this. So here I am going to define a two-dimensional array. So for a runtime initialization, I'm going to say that it is a new. So if you want to allocate a memory at the runtime, if you are as an initialize at the runtime, we need to allocate a memory. So in I'm going to say I'm going to store 2 rows and 3 values. So every row consists of 3 values. So that here the array allocated for storing 6 elements. 6 elements. So therefore, the total allocated memory is 6 values into for integer 4 bytes, so that 24 bytes will be allocated for the given listed array. So I'm going to store in the form of a matrix format, so that I'm going to initialize at the runtime. So for I equal to 0, so it is 2 rows. So always the outer loop indicates for a row and inner loop indicates for a column. So j less than 3 and j plus plus. So maximum 3 columns is possible. So a of row and column index equal to, I'm going to say it is k plus plus. Assume that the value of k equal to 0. This is for runtime initialization. Basically, whatever we want, you can assign it. That is similar to the C concept, so that you don't need to worry about it. So the way we are trying for initialization is not an important thing. So while you are going to display the matrix element in matrix format, there is some procedure we need to do. So system.out.print. So sorry, declaration is missing for I and j. So that I'm going to declare I and j. Sorry, I already declared. So now I'm going to declare j and as well as a k also for compile time initialization variable, which is for compile time initialization. Sorry, there is a semicolon is missing here. I forgot to. We know that every statement in the Java program must terminate with the semicolons. So the compiler is okay. So now I'm going to run a program. It will be stored like this. Because the k values start from 0, so in the first row it will be stored like the 0, 1, 2, and the next row 4, 5, 6, sorry, 3, 4, 5. So like that the values will be stored. Even you can assign the value to the array by using any runtime statement also, runtime input statement also. So that is based on the user choice. So that is the way we are going to define it for our runtime variables. Even if you want, we can assign a value at the compile time also. Instead of this, I am going to use curly brace and a grouping. So here I'm saying it is 1, 2, and 3. So every row consists of 3 elements, and it consists of 3 rows and 3 columns. So 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to say 7, 8, and 9. So here I'm going to print only 2 rows. So we can check it whether it is a correct or okay. Is there any errors? So it will be displayed only here. Display 2 rows. If you want, we can use 3 rows also. So we have to just by changing these values. So here not necessary to initialize any value for here. So that automatically it predicts what is the size of every list. So that based on that it will be assigned to the column size as well as row size. So 2-dimensional also is coming under multiple dimensions also. So once again I recall. So normally with the help of variable we can able to store only one value at a time. Even if you want to store more than one value in a single line, it is not possible. So that by using normal variables, so that we can going to implement the concept of array for storing this common similar data elements in a common name in a continuous memory location for easy accessing and easy maintenance purpose for maintenance. So further we can go with the concept of array, so that even the values are stored in a continuous memory, we can able to access the values with the help of common name by using an index, so that the index values start from 0 to size -1. Size here the size indicates that the maximum allocated size. So if you are trying to access the value from unallocated memory, then in a Java compiler, it makes an exception. It makes an exception as array index out of bound exception. So and also that the array index always should be represented. Try to keep mind in a Python, it supports both the negative indexing as well as a positive indexing. But C, C++, Java supports only for a positive indexing. And so then there are different type of array. We have one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and multi-dimensional array. So we must understand what is the difference between the normal variable and as well as for array variable. The normal variable should not have a square bracket. That is called because the subscript. So if your array always represent with a subscript, so that there is a different possible one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. For one-dimensional array, the variable which contains only one square bracket, that is called subscript, and it is called as one-dimensional array. So one-dimensional array also known as list of elements. We also call as a list of elements. So the syntax for declaration is data type followed by the variable name, then square bracket. Then if you are assigning a memory, we can use new and space followed by the data type. Then we can define the maximum size. So here the size will be a constant. That means that not a constant. It must be a value, fixed number. You can't define any variable in maximum size because the memory will be allocated at the time of compilation itself. So that the size memory size must be defined explicitly. So like that, the two-dimensional array, or if you want to represent the values in multiple dimensions, means the collection of one-dimensional, then it is called as a two-dimensional array. Simply, two-dimensional array is also called as a matrix. So for matrix representation, the variable should have a two square bracket. The first square bracket represents a row, and second square bracket represents columns. So there is a concept of an array. So that if you want to have a concept, it is a concept of array is similar, which is comparing C and as well as in Java. Thank you.